Wednesday. Yes, got it right this time. Last week I goofed it up a couple of times. I caught it though. So when it actually went to places where I had to type in what day it was, I did get it correct. So there are those days. There we go. All right. Now we got it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. Oh, fun. I see you can see my G.I. Joes that are about to go on eBay for sale. Oi, the stuff my mother collected. Many interesting things. And I shouldn't complain because most of them are going for 20, 30, $40. It's a hunk of plastic. Whatever. Everybody has their thing. So, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. We have a card today from the Sacred Forest deck. Good morning, Barb. You're the first one here today. Welcome. And I was kind of surprised this deck popped up. I'm not sure why I was surprised, but I was a little surprised. But here we are. And the message, once I read the message, it was like, of course, of course. We have been getting this message repeatedly for at least a couple of years. And the pace at which this message shows up is increasing. Why? Because I think we're right on the cusp of this. Right on the cusp. We're in the flow. It's happening. Good morning to whomever's here. Without your name rolling, I'm glad you're here. Um, so I think it's reassuring to know that yes, indeed, this is what's happening. And sometimes, good morning, Joniel, welcome. Sometimes when the roller coaster ride gets a little bumpy, we need the reassurance that, okay, but this makes sense. This makes sense. One of the things we don't want to do is hold on to the familiar so tightly that there isn't room for the new to flow in. And I think that's part of what this card is serving for us to help us be ready, willing, and able to relinquish our death grip on that which was. So let's start with some tapping and some breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Clearing space within yourself for new. Breathe in, breathe out. Exhaling away that which no longer serves you. Breathe in, breathe out. Because what you're releasing may serve someone else. Send it out into the cosmos. Let it arrive wherever it's meant to go. You no longer need it. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, you may still want it, or you may still think you need it, but you don't. Breathe in, breathe out. Good morning, Beth. Glad you are here. Breathe in, breathe out. A lot of practical rebels here today. Gotta love that. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Excuse the t-shirt, but I am headed to the gym today to meet with their physical therapist about knee exercises. What specifically can I do for knees that are not happy after years and years and years of abuse? Good morning, Gwen. Welcome. So I'm looking forward to meeting with her and seeing what she has for some ideas. So Sacred Forest deck, Denise Linn. There's our lovely little magical tree with the entrance to the netherworld. And our card for today, for those of you who have the deck, it's number 10. And that fits so well with this card because that would be a 1, which is New Beginnings. The Daffodil Fairy, New Beginnings. Oh, good. Glad you love this deck. Good morning, Chrissy. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. All right, take a breath. Let it go. Grounding yourself to Mother Earth, opening yourself to receiving this message. Whatever part of this message stands out in relief for you, take that piece to heart. Take that piece to heart. And then decide, well, what can I do with this today? On this fine Wednesday, what can I do with this card? Daffodil Fairy, New Beginnings. You feel a tap on your shoulder, and in a flash of yellow, you see a daffodil fairy fly past you. In a high, sweet voice, she says, the best is yet to be. It's time for a new beginning. With glee, you race after her into the forest. Life goes in cycles. Just as spring follows winter, a new cycle is beginning in your life. So sit with that for a moment. How do you feel about that? A new cycle is beginning in your life. Are you lamenting the old cycle coming to an end? Or are you excited about a new cycle opening up? Or is it some of both? It can be both. In the phases of the earth, the plants die in the fall so that there can be a new birth in the spring. It's the universal dance of death and rebirth. And I wish we did a much better job of just embracing that dance. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you are here. Welcome. We have such baggage around the death part of it. My thing is, I just reframe it as being birthed into the next. Whatever comes next, that we're being birthed into that. We were birthed into this, and we were obviously somewhere prior to this, birthed into the next, and the cycle continues. It doesn't have to be dreadful, feared, all the things, not talked about, whispered about, behind hands, blah, blah. There's a time to end and begin, and this is the close of one cycle and the beginning of another. We associate the daffodil with spring, as it is one of the first flowers to emerge after the snows. Its shape echoes the feeling of trumpeting in the new season. Its colors suggest vitality, radiance, and sunshine. The appearance of this card brings a message to wipe the slate clean. It's time to release the old and start again. Thank you, Gwen. And does that mean everything has to be dropped like a hot potato? No, it's a discernment process. It's a discernment process. We need to consider things. And in some cases, we decide, no, that's outlived its usefulness. I will bless it on its way. In other cases, it's kind of seemingly decided for us. Something moves on that we weren't ready to let go of. But obviously, the fact that it's moving on would suggest it's time to let it go, even if we're not ready. It can be difficult to release familiar routines, situations, or relationships when they no longer empower you. So there's the rule of thumb, looking at things. Is this empowering me? Is this empowering me? And again, there's options for change there. You may change your mindset about something and it becomes empowering instead of disempowering. But there are also those times where it's just time for something to be released. Your higher self encourages you not to cling to the old, but to set sail in new waters. If you find yourself afraid to let go, Daffodil Fairy urges you to face your fear and allow yourself to stretch in a new direction. You could do a journaling about this. The reasons I'm afraid to let go of X are, make a big list, refute each of those pieces, see what you notice, see how you feel as you're doing that. Yes, release the old and start again. And again, it doesn't mean chucking everything to the curb, but using a process of discernment. The Creator is at your side, and wonderful opportunities will be born in your life. Wholeness occurs when you can say yes to both endings and beginnings. Let me read that one again. Wholeness occurs when you can say yes to both endings and beginnings. The spirit of the Daffodil Fairy says it's time to start a new project or a new cycle. Life force and vitality are emerging. Release that which doesn't serve and support you. Make way for a new start. Success is at hand. And I like that part about life force and vitality are emerging because one of the things that happens toward the end of a cycle, think about a phoenix. At the end of its cycle, it's kind of old and decrepit. And think about Fawkes in Harry Potter. And before he burst into flames and emerged from the ashes as a new phoenix, he was pretty ratty looking. He had run that cycle to the end. It was time for a new cycle to begin. Same for us. We get to the end of a cycle and we have multiple cycles in our lives. Think of a daily cycle. There's a daily cycle that we have. The next day comes, it's an entirely different entity than the previous one. It may feel the same, it may look the same on some levels, but it is a new beginning. So, days, weeks, months, years, we have many cycles that occur. The seasons are the cycles that we tended to pay attention to much more in the past, especially when we were far more connected to the land. So, and I really think part of the new cycle that we're creating right now, yes, all the technology's happening, but I think there's going to be a mass exodus back to simpler kinds of things, back to some of where we came from. I see that happening, especially as things like food sources become more questionable. I can see far more people again creating their own food sources. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. And if you can look at it from a perspective of interest and curiosity rather than fear and trepidation, you're going to be in a much better place. So that is our reading for today. Hopefully, you do a little dance with the Daffodil Fairy and allow a new beginning to begin. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye bye.